Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakradash, the bonds to the apostles, elders, great millstone, and salutations to our brothers pushing his word in truth and sincerity and with charity, and risking their lives and freedom to do so. This is your brother, young guy, come for the great millstone, Chicago Camp, coming at you with another lesson, low ones, edifying. Quick scripture of the day, and righteousness is going to deliver you from death. Alright, not riches. Okay, Esau's bunkers. He could get suited and booted. And JT's trouble. Having armor from head to toe. You can stack up. Esau go ahead and try to stack up on their guns and their bullets, the rounds, stack up on, whatever, these doomsday preppers, be getting, man. Because you can look this shit up. There's a lot of people that's really into that shit. Alright? You got, even, I believe it was 2 Chainz. But he had recently bought a car. It was like a truck that goes through mud, goes through dirt, goes through sand, goes through grass, road, fucking drives, is bulletproof, basically just a fucking little mini tank that just keeps going, that not only drives but also floats, man. You can drive it on, and not only on land but in water. The only thing it doesn't do is fucking fly. Alright. It's like, and it doesn't matter. His ass could be sitting in that motherfucker all day. Anybody can sit in that motherfucker. But it's not going to deliver you. Alright. This wisdom, that's what scripture says. Wisdom and knowledge to be the stability of thy times. Alright, it's not going to be your bunkers. It's not going to be your guns. It's not going to be, your penthouses. It's not going to be any of those Esau's military, quote unquote might. All those things are going to crumble. Alright? There's no protection behind those things. Alright? The scripture says that the Lord's name is as a strong tower, and the righteous run to it and are safe. Alright? We're not running to our gun. We're not running to an AK-47. We're not running to a body armor. We're not running to fucking bulletproof vehicles. We're not running to, a bunker. We're not running to, the average Jake can't even afford those things. Average Jake fucking can barely pay their bills, their phone bill. Let alone fucking get ready for doomsday, getting meals that have an average of a 3-year shelf life, or for just in case of emergencies. They ain't into that shit, man. But you got all these other people, Esau, the rest of these heathens. And you got some Jake too. The majority of Jake's lost in the fucking sauce. But you got some Jake, that's aware. The shit that Esau is stirring up, and basically in WW3, these people, it doesn't matter if you try to move and get out the country. That shit don't matter, man. Alright? It doesn't matter. The private jet, all those things is going to come to naught. Alright? These people's riches, alright, it will not save them. Alright? Here they done put blood, sweat, and tears into their riches. You know, and it's not even going to value or mean anything in that day. Alright? And I got the scripture right here to prove that. Right here in the book of Proverbs. Let me go ahead and bring it out. 11:4. It says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Alright? Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. And that's why, you know, the scriptures also mentions that rubies is nothing to be compared to wisdom, man. You can't compare rubies or riches until there's nothing going to be compared to it. Alright, because wisdom and knowledge will be the stability at times. Alright, it's not going to be these people's riches. It's not going to be their cyber trucks. It's not going to be their fucking fancy phones. Alright, their Wi-Fi. Alright. Ain't going to be no fucking magical app that Esau creates and gives them a way to escape JT time, or, you know, there ain't nowhere they can hide, man. Alright? These people, you know, they're really doing these things as doomsday prepping, really stocking up for the elect. You know? The men of the Lord, you know, in that time, you know, will be fed. We'll drink. We'll be clothed. Alright? But these people out here, hey, they through, man. Ain't gonna be nothing to help them. Alright? Ain't gonna be no one they could call on. Alright? They're out here helpless. Alright? Because they don't got it. They ain't got the answers. They don't have the wisdom. Alright? You might have a couple thousand, a few 100,000, a few million. You know, a little private boat, private, you know, a little, those, what are those houses basically? Vacation homes, or they could run to, or, you know, those emergency getaways. You know, it's not gonna work. Alright? Because riches profit not in the day of wrath, man. You know, the dollar's dropping. You know, spent all this time putting in all these hours for Esau. You know, it's not gonna profit in that in the times to come. Alright. So this Proverbs 11:4 says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Let me go ahead and get that in Proverbs 8 real quick, since I'm in Proverbs. This is Proverbs 10, 8 and 10. It says, receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. Alright? Why? Because these true riches is what the flesh can't touch. Alright? This is wisdom. This knowledge. Alright? The Lord gifted us, man. these people are through, man. So we'll go ahead and end it off with that. No one's the fine scripture of the day. Until next time, say shalom and a Bible ball.